Good evening. This is Miss Carver, and I'm here to read you a book. This week we're going to be talking about bodies of water and the earth and the water cycle. So this book covers just about all that. It's from the Sunlight series. It's called Rivers of Sunlight, How the Sun Moves Water Around the Earth by Molly Bang and Penny Chisholm. I think I'm going to just do the book, and then I'm going to record lessons later of what I would like you to do. How the sun moves water around the earth. Rivers of sunlight. What a beautiful picture. I am your sun. My energy warms your days. I light up your world. But of all my planets, only one is teeming with life. Your Earth. Why? Because it is covered with water. H2O, always moving, always changing from liquid to solid to vapor and back again. Together, water and I give life to your blue planet and to you. Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, way up there in the back, you see them. Almost all of Earth's water is in your salty seas. To you, the oceans seem very deep, but they are actually just a thin film covering most of your planet. Look, if all of Earth's water were rolled into a ball, the ball would be this big compared to the whole Earth. A ball of just Earth's fresh water would only be this big. And most of that is locked away as solid ice or water buried underground. What's left? Just this tiny bit of water. And yet this tiny bit is enough to keep all life on land alive. How? Because water moves. It cycles. And so it is used again and again and again. Remember, I told you that you probably drank the same water as the dinosaurs because the water's been here forever. Drink a glass of water. Feel it flow into your body. Most of your body is made of water. Water carries food and oxygen to every cell and keeps your temperature just right. The water you drink stays inside you for a few days and then travels on, flushing your wastes away. Just as water flows and cycles inside you, it flows and cycles around your earth, keeping all life alive. Where did your water come from? Where is it going? What keeps it moving? I do. I, your sun. I lift water from the salty sea by warming the ocean's surface waters. See how my heat makes the H2O molecules jiggle and jiggle and jiggle until they pop into the air, leaving their salt behind? That's evaporation. Liquid becomes a gas, water vapor. Water vapor. The molecules of pure fresh water vapor float up and up. Remember we talked about the molecules, when it's a solid, they're together and like this. And when it's a liquid, they move back and forth. And when it's a gas, they go like this. They're really, really crazy. Well, this is when it turns into a gas and the molecules go up into the sky. They're all going up in the sky. And spread out. They join a cocoon of water vapor that envelopes your whole Earth. This cocoon catches some of my light energy and helps keep Earth's temperature just right for life. Some of the water vapor rises even higher to cooler layers of the atmosphere. When a molecule of the vapor catches a speck of dust, suddenly millions more grab hold to form one drop. Water vapor becomes a liquid once again. Drops collect in clouds. They grow larger, heavier, until they pour out of the sky as rain or snow and fall back into the sea. But some of the water vapor above the sea, this is the condensation, evaporation, condensation, precipitation. Travels in a circle, yes it does. Some of it joins a river of water vapor flying through the sky. Oh, there it is. My winds blow the river across the sky toward land. Now rain and snow fall there. Snow piles up on mountaintops each winter. In the warmth of spring, it melts and flows with fallen rain to streams, rivers, and lakes. See how some of the water seeps deep down into the sand and gravel? They hold the water like a giant sponge laying on a floor of solid rock. These underground waterlogged sponges are called aquifers. Aquifers are savings banks of fresh water, storing deep, still water for thousands of years. I talked about that. I live on a well where I live in the country, and I depend on the aquifer. Look, she's riding the river in the sky. See, the river goes there, comes from the ocean, over the land, rain, snow, melts, runs down here. Water cycle. Above them, I keep water moving. I shine my light on lakes, rivers, and soggy soil. Again, water evaporates into the air. I shine my light on trees and plants. They draw up water from the ground and use my light to photosynthesize. That's in the cafeteria. They make food, building more plants, which feed all living things on Earth. As they photosynthesize, the plants pump water vapor into the air. It rises up to join the giant river in the sky. My winds push the flying river, so rain and snow fall on mountains and prairies, forests and deserts, nourishing the plants there. Look at those beautiful plants. And so water cycles round and round over and over and over again. What would happen if I did not move water? There would be no rain, no rivers, no life on your blue planet if I did not move water. And I move a lot of water. Each year, I evaporate 100 quadrillion gallons of fresh water from the seas. Each year, my winds blow 1/10 of that fresh water, 10 quadrillion gallons, over to the land. The rest falls back into the sea. But if I keep moving fresh water from the seas to land, why don't the seas get saltier and saltier? And why don't they eventually dry up? Because each year, the rivers of the world deliver 10 quadrillion gallons of fresh water back to the seas, replacing what was lost. I keep water moving, cycling from sea to air to land and back again. I keep the cycle in balance, and I also cycle water in the sea. See, the water comes from here, ocean, over here, to the land, in the river, comes back down to the ocean. Yep, that's what happens. Yes, I move a giant river inside the seas. Just as water circulates in you to feed you, flush your waste, and regulate your temperature, the ocean river does the same throughout the seas. How? My light heats your Earth's equator steadily all year long. So the surface water there stays very warm. Remember we talked about this, the imaginary line around the middle of the Earth, the equator. My winds help move a wide current of that warm water west until the current bounces against land, the Americas, and curls back into swirling eddies. So I don't know if you remember on Finding Nemo, when they saw the turtle in the what was it called? It was some kind of the Gulf Stream. I don't know if it was the Gulf Stream, but it was one of those underground rivers that he hitched right on the turtle. And you see how the warm current charges north and then bends toward Europe? This is the Gulf Stream. That's what I was talking about. Part of the enormous ocean river. As the Gulf Stream flows, heat rises from its waters, warming the air above. My winds blow that warm air over land where it heats the land itself. If the Gulf Stream didn't flow, winters in Europe would be much colder. As it lets go of its heat, the Gulf Stream's water cools. In the far north, some of it freezes into solid ice, way up here, squeezing its salt out into the sea. Lighter than water, ice floats. See it hanging in the frigid, super salty sea? Salty water is heavier than fresh water. Cold water is heavier than warm water. Cold water holds more oxygen than warm water. So the cold, salty, heavy, oxygen-rich Arctic waters plunge and become a colossal waterfall inside the sea. 2 miles deep it plummets, driving the giant river along the ocean floor. This massive artery of water is the great ocean conveyor belt. So the hot water's up on the top, the cold water drops down the bottom and starts moving. This is kind of like a tornado, the hot and the cold air moving. The conveyor belt snakes through the deep, dark ocean, delivering oxygen to deep sea creatures and gathering nutrients that float down from above. That's this part right here. Goes deep, dark, and then, okay, near Antarctica, oh, that's down here, the current splits in two. Eventually, both currents rise up to the sunlit water, surface water, bringing the nutrients to the phytoplankton that feed all ocean life. My heart warms the currents. Falling rain dilutes their salty water. Turning, flowing west, the currents join and merge at last with the Gulf Stream to begin the cycle once again. Driven by changes in salt and temperature, driven by me, your son. The great conveyor belt keeps the oceans alive and regulates Earth temperatures. Okay, so let me see if I can get this straight. So down here, it gets cold. It goes like this. And it goes like this, and it splits here. And part of it goes this way and goes, and it's really cold. Then it gets warm and comes back up. The other part goes this way, cold, and comes back up. And then here they come back together. And then they go this way over to the Gulf of Mexico. This is where we are, over here where it's warm. Then they go back this way and they get cold again. And they come back down here. And look, it starts all over again. Up and down. Yes, my sunlight energy keeps water moving around the planet, in the seas, the sky, and the land, bringing your world to life. Moving water also changes Earth's landscape. Drop by drop, water can eat into hard rock. Over eons, it carves deep canyons in the land. Remember what we call that? It's erosion. As it flows over rocks, water pulls out essential minerals, nutrients, delivering them to all living things, including you. Water seeps into cracks and freezes, breaking boulders into bits, carrying the rubble down to the plains. Huge glaciers, rivers of frozen water, gouge deep valleys out of towering mountains. Water is soft and yielding, but very, very powerful. Erosion. That's what that is. Erosion. For billions of years, I, your son, have cycled water around Earth as your ancestors made their homes near lakes and rivers, so they would have enough water. They built great civilizations by inventing waterworks, digging wells and constructing dams, canals, and aqueducts to control the flow of water. As their populations grew, the water could feed larger and larger crops and bigger herds of animals. Aqueduct. The total amount of water in your Earth will always be the same. But now more than 7 billion people live on Earth, pouring wastes into rivers, lakes, and coastal waters, using and moving too much water. Some rivers are running dry. Some aquifers are being drained faster than rain can replenish them. The water balance around the world is changing. More and more places have too little water. Drought dries up the crops. Remember we talked about when there's drought, there's no rain. More places have too much. Floods sweep over the land. As your Earth warms, the balance will shift even more. Sea levels will rise, swamping coastal cities. This I promise. I, your son, will do my part to keep Earth's water clean and flowing. Will you do your part? Will you find ways to use water sparingly and keep it clean? Remember, you share Earth's water with everything alive, and your life depends on the whole web of life. This is a very, very cool book. Okay, it's from the Sunlight series. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. We can do a lot of stuff with this book. Should I go? Okay. Good night.